Hi there and welcome to your yoga class. I hope you're well today. So today we are going to be focusing on our shoulders and our arms and our upper back. But shoulders is the focus, and if you've got a block, please get that handy. Or you can have a strap as well. You can also use a book or cushion instead of a block. So we are going to start on our knees in a child's pose. So your knees are out as far as your edge of your mat and bum back as far as you can. And instead of having your arms out in front this time, we're going to put them in prayer position behind our head. Start opening up those shoulders. So knees are out as far as you like. And we're going to start breathing here. So just taking nice deep breaths through your nose. You can have your eyes shut as well if that's what you prefer. And we're just going to stay here for quite a few breaths, about a minute and a half, to just get our body warming up nice and gently and just bringing yourself to your yoga practice. So just starting to think about moving now. We've been here a wee while, so be nice and gentle, hands down, and you're going to be gently just coming onto your knees now. So you can tuck your toes if you want, or just have them flat like me. And if you've got your block, hold it out in front of you. If you've not got a block, just hold your hands out in front of you, about a block width apart, about a foot or thereabouts. So what we're trying to do here is engage the shoulders, okay? And then what we're going to do, see how you're just putting your scapula, your shoulder blades back and forward. So you're not bending your arms, you're keeping them straight, and you're doing that very small movement with your scapula to get that forward and backwards movement, okay? So just a few of these, back and forward, remembering to keep your arms straight. It's really tempting to bend them. And as I say, you can be doing this without a block because we're still engaging the shoulders. The block's just a kind of handy reminder if you've got it handy. So now we're going to raise the block above our head. And you're going to lengthen and twist to the right, back to the middle and twist to the left. Let's do that again. So we're going to exhale, twist to the right, keep the torso straight, into the middle, and then over to the left. And back to the middle. And just pop your block down. You should feel those shoulders activating already. So coming on to your hands and your knees, we're going to do a couple of cat-cows. So remembering to keep your shoulders above your wrists, hips above your knees. And we're just moving the torso here. And so you're inhaling in the way up, head comes up, tummy comes down, exhaling on the way down and pushing that back up. And really trying to isolate the torso, not moving the shoulders or the legs. So coming back to a neutral tabletop and pulling that tummy button into your spine. So now we're going to come up to downward dog, popping your tailbone up to the sky, walk it out if you need to. Hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart as well. And do remember that you can be bending your knees, you can still be walking the dog, and you're pressing your chest back to your thighs. Lifting the tailbone up, and remember those heels don't need to be at the floor either. So we're going to do a little wave now into a plank. So you're going to bend your knees, engage your core, and sort of try and curl your back forward to plank pose. Now you can put your knees down when you do this if it's too much. We're just going to be doing, this is number 3, waving forward, and then an exhale back to downward dog. And please feel free to come to your knees while you're doing this as well. pushing your heels back when you're in plank, and this really will activate your shoulders. And remembering that you can put your knees down at any time because you're still got the same integrity of the pose up at your shoulders. So, meeting back in downward dog, when you've done about 4 of them, see how many you can manage. And remember, still walking the dog or bending the knees if you need to. That's absolutely fine. And a few breaths here just to recover after that. So coming forward into plank, we're going to lower right to the floor, and we're going to put the tops of the feet in the floor as well. So baby cobras now. Inhale and lift in the chest and shoulders off the floor. We're going to be doing 3 of these. Hands off the floor as well. If it's too much, you can put your hands on the floor. It's just to strengthen your back, strengthen your shoulders as well. And then taking your hands behind your back, you can clasp them here and lift up your chest and shoulders, and lift those feet as well if you want to. So just do as much as you can. The feet can be down, the chest can even be down as well. Okay, and you can just be clasping the hands because we are focusing on the shoulders. But if you are up with your feet up, just lift those hands away from your bottom. And just pause here for a count of 5. So popping your hands back in the mat, just recover for a little second, head on the mat. So now we're going to do a really nice shoulder opener. So put the left hand on the floor at about a 90-degree angle, and then you're going to kind of roll towards it. So lift the right shoulder off the floor. Your right hand's supporting you. You can put that that right leg behind you as well. All you're trying to do is open that left shoulder. So just come over onto your hip as much as is going to suit you to open the shoulder, because it can be quite intense. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. So other hand or other arm in an L position, and then just rolling onto your side. If that's too much for you, you can keep the arms straight as well. The point is we're just trying to open that right shoulder. So coming back up to downward dog, have a nice stretch off, and then what we're going to do, walk your hands towards your feet. We normally do it the other way around, but walk your hands towards your feet. Feet are hip width apart. Clasp your hands behind your back, lift them up as much as is available. Keep those knees bent though. You can even be resting your chest on your hips and opening up the shoulders again, a bit like what we did when we were on the floor, and clasp our hands and pop your hands to the floor and coming back to downward dog again. Then we're going to lift our right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip while we're here. Feel that nice hip opening, lifting your knee up as much as you can, and then you're going to look forward and bring that right foot between your hands and pop the left knee on the floor. Coming up to our low lunge. The back toes can be tucked or flat as well. Now we're going to do a cactus arm here, so the arms come down to 90 degrees and open that chest, really open the chest, and you can come into as much of a back bend as is available to you here, but as long as the chest is open and the shoulders are activated with that arm position, and drop the hips as well. Feel the weight in your hips, and then bringing your hands into prayer position, you're going to just hook that left elbow over your right knee into a twist, and you can stay here if you want or straighten the back leg. Just see how you're feeling today. And remember, don't sort of collapse on that front thigh. Keep the core nice and engaged, and keep that right shoulder back as well for a really nice twist. So we're going to come up to the top of the mat now. Now you can just come up as you know, if you want, put your hands down and then step up just like that. But we want to find that same twist. So if you've managed to do it without letting go, you just stay in the same twist, but we're in chair position now, so the feet are together or hip width apart. So same chair position, and then come up to full chair position. Hands up, weight back on your heels into full chair. And then we're just going to push through the feet and come up to standing. Just let your thighs relax for a little minute. So raising your right knee up to your chest, hold on to it. You can hold on to the wall or furniture, whatever you need to here. Pressing that knee into the chest as much as it can go. Now you can stay here, or you can invite a little twist. So keep the hold of the leg with the left hand, right hand goes back. Okay, and you should feel that opening up your right shoulder. And you're getting a nice spinal twist and stretching the glutes as well. So coming back round again, holding on to that knee, trying to stay up as much as you can. Can feel a bit wobbly up here. Then you're going to clasp your hands behind your back. And if you can, come forward to warrior 3. Okay, you can just keep standing with the hands behind your back, or if you want to, you can hold on, but you're going to put that right leg back, heel flexed, and try and come down so that you're parallel, but you might not come. You can rest that back foot on the floor if you want to. Okay, it can be quite challenging. So you're going to put the back leg on the floor and come into a high lunge with the hands still in the same position. Really nice shoulder opener, and come into a little bit of a back bend if you want. So you can stay up, or you can dive forward at this point with the left shoulder coming into the inside of the left knee. Your legs are still in the high lunge position, and you're opening up those shoulders. Those shoulders should be you should be feeling this by now. And then just bringing both hands to the floor, either side of the foot, and step back to your downward dog. So coming, we're going to do a vinyasa here. So coming down to chaturanga, upward facing dog, flip those toes round and back up. You can stay in downward dog for that, or you can take that vinyasa. It's up to you. If you do that, you're perfectly able to just rest in downward dog and just pause. Stretching it out, lifting the tailbone up. And we're staying here for about 4 or 5 breaths this time. So we need to do the other side. So left foot is up, and we're going to bend that knee, open up the hip, feel that really nice opening. And of course we're going to bring this foot, just like we did before, in between the hands at the front. Back knee down and come up to high lunge. Readjust that front foot if you need to as well, if you want a bigger lunge. And you can put the top of the foot on the floor at the back as well. Remember, as long as you're reaching up, then bring out those cactus arms and open the chest even more. And try and keep your elbows sort of up in a parallel position. Try not to let them droop down. The back bend is optional here. You can just stay with a nice straight back if you want to. Hands into prayer position, and then we're going to do that twisted lunge. So this time the right elbow is on the left knee. Your palms are pressing together, and remember not to collapse. If you want to, you can straighten that back leg as well and push the heel back. But you're still welcome to have the knee down. But if the knee down is down, to come up to the front, we are going to have to lift the back leg to come up to that chair position with our feet together. So again, feel free to do this any way that you want to, but the option is there to just step up and try and keep your hands in the same position, okay? But you can put your hands down and step up, no problem at all. So still the same chair position as we had before, with the same twist, and then we're going to release the twist and come up into full chair. Doesn't matter how far you come down, as long as your knees aren't protruding in front of your toes, and push up. So we're going to be lifting our left knee up now. Hug that into your chest, give the glutes a lovely big, you do some ankle rolls if you want to as well. Flex the foot, and then if you want the twist, hold on to the knee with the right hand, and left hand goes back. And it can be quite wobbly this, so don't give yourself too hard a time if it's not possible. You can hold on, remember. But we're just trying to open up that left shoulder now. Coming back round, nice and gently. And then clasping the hands behind the back. You can stand like this. If it's too much, you can put that left knee down as well. But if you want to, come forward to warrior 3, nice and slow. Flex the foot at the back, lift the hands up to open up the shoulders again. Nice and strong in your standing leg, focus as well. The option is there too to have blocks down, doing this, leaning on them, and as gently as possible put that leg back down. And here we are in high lunge with the arms still in the same position. You can release this, stretch with the shoulders at any time. Just depends how intensely you're feeling it. You can have your hands on your hips here if that's easier. So we're going to do that dive forward again. So this time the right shoulder's coming to the inside of the right knee. That's it, lifting the hands up as much as you can. And then put your hands on the mat, pop that leg back. Now we're going to take a vinyasa again, so lowering to the floor, upward dog, turn your feet round and come up to downward dog. But you can just come straight back to downward dog if you like. And we're here for another few breaths. So just coming down to your knees now. Just take your time, there's no rush transitioning in between. We're going to come into a really nice puppy dog pose. So those hips stay above your knees and you're going to walk your hands forward. Now lead with your chest at this point, okay? Your head might be on the floor, your chin might be on the floor. You might not be anywhere near the floor, but it doesn't matter because as long as you're opening up the chest, you'll feel a really lovely shoulder opening as well. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths this time in order to kind of access those deeper tissues and really open up the shoulders. And this, of course, is a little bit of a back bend as well. So just settle in. Remember, there should be no pain. A little bit of discomfort is okay, bit of stretching, but no pain. So we've been here for a few breaths, so just really slowly walk your hands back up and just pause if you need to before coming up to your downward dog. Okay, you're going to raise your right leg up as we did before, bend the knee as we did before, and then you're going to step the right foot forward. Remember, if it doesn't get there in the one go, it doesn't matter. We're coming up to warrior 2, so back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Warrior 2, relax those shoulders, arms nice and straight. We're going to do something a little bit different with our warrior 2 today. Watch that front knee doesn't fall in. So your right hand is going to come between your shoulder blades, and you can hold on to it with the, like a tricep stretch with that other hand if you want, or you can wrap the left hand round and hold on to your fingers, or use your strap at this point, or just reach for your fingers. So your right hand is between your shoulder blades, left hand is either supporting that right elbow or coming round and opening up. This is cow face arms. We normally do this in Gomukhasana when we're sitting on the floor, but we are opening our shoulders today, getting them more mobile. And then if you can, we would normally reverse the warrior at this point with our hand up. So if you can, just lift that right elbow up and over, just for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to turn to the front, so feet parallel now. Hands are still in the same position, okay? And we're going to do a forward fold. This is my stiff side, as you can see. I can bind, but not that well on this side. But as I say, your fingers can just be reaching or using a strap or a belt or a jumper or anything. So weights on your toes, you can have a wee bend in your knee as well. So you're getting a lovely stretch up the back of your legs and your shoulders. You should be feeling that by now. So hands on the mat now. And what we're going to do is just fold forward. You might want to walk your hands back between your feet to just have a really nice fold and let your shoulders relax for a second as well. So walking your hands forward just a little bit, just to straighten the spine out. You're then going to swivel round to the front of your mat, so right leg is forward, left hand on the mat and twist up. Remember, you can put your back knee down. A nice open, easy twist, opening up those shoulders again. Then pop your back knee down. You're going to come into a side plank. So that left hand stays on the floor, right foot comes out, and you're going to be doing some nice arm circles. So 3 or 4 arm circles going forward whilst you're in this supported plank. You can also go into full plank if you want to, if that suits you better. So the arm is coming forward, mobilising that entire joint, then coming back down to the front. But when you come to the front, come on to your forearms into a forearm plank. Push the heels back. Your hands and your elbows are shoulder width apart. Keep that bum neither up nor down, nice and straight. Then we're going to walk these feet in and come into dolphin pose. Feel that stretch between your shoulder blades. Now, your heels might not be down, because this is like a downward dog with your elbows down, isn't it? So, you know, if your knees might be pretty bent at this point and your heels might be way off the floor. But what we're concentrating on here is the shoulders. This should feel like your shoulders are getting a huge opener. So we're going to walk those feet back out again, back into plank position. You can put your knees down here. We're going to come into Sphinx pose, so elbows on the floor. Arms can be at a right angled position, or you can walk the elbows out a little bit, remember, as well. So you should feel this in the small of your back, definitely, but really focus on trying to open up the shoulders here. Tops of the feet are pressing into the floor, as is your pelvis. So from here we're going to raise the hands out the front and raise the feet up at the back. Now you can just do hands or feet or both, up to you. See how your back is feeling, into full locust pose. And then come back down. And then we're going to try and come straight up to downward dog if you can. Just pausing here for a few breaths. Pedaling those feet if you want to, stretching it out. And doing quite a lot of big stretches. And just looking back towards the back of your mat. Lifting the tailbone. So it's the left hand side this time. Left foot up for 3-legged dog. And bend the knee, open the hip, bring your left foot forward between your hands to come up for warrior 2 on the other side. So that back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Arms are out, shoulders switched on, shoulders relaxed, hips are to the side. So this time, left hand comes between the shoulder blades. Remember, you can just support it, or you can really open out that right hand, come up and then bind on. But you don't have to do that, or you can use a strap. So feel the shoulder opening here. And remember, if it's all too much, if you just can't get into that position, still lift your left hand up, and you can be supporting that elbow with the right hand, okay? So as long as you're trying to open the shoulder in some way. And remember, reverse the warrior, which means tipping that left elbow back. It's very constricted here, so just as much as you can. And then turning your feet parallel. We're going to do that forward fold, and your hands haven't really moved. So folding forward, it doesn't matter how far forward you come. Weight is on your toes, stretching the back of the legs while we're stretching the shoulders. So bringing your hands to the mat again, you can fold forward. As I say, if you're going to fold forward, you can walk your hands between your feet and just come forward. You can bend your knees a little bit as well, remember, for Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Just breathing, feeling the big stretch. And then straightening up your arms in an inhale and swiveling round to the front again. And you're going to come into that twist. So the right hand's on the floor and the left hand is up this time. Back knee on the floor, and then bring your left leg round, and so you're in that side plank, and we're going to do those arm circles again. So circling your arm forward, really opening up, creating the space, mobilising that shoulder joint. Should feel quite nice, this one. Again, any shoulder pain, anything like that, you don't need to do the arm circles. Nothing should be painful at all. So then, once you've done that, come down onto your forearms and then plank. Nice and strong. And your knees can be down as well, remember. And then we're going to come up to that dolphin pose by walking the feet in. Okay, so your knees can be really bent, up to you. And you might still be in your forearm plank if dolphin's just too much for you. But just breathing nice and deeply to help the stretch. Then walking those feet back out and coming down onto the floor. Coming to Sphinx pose just like we did before. Top of the feet in the floor. Width of feet doesn't really matter. The wider they are, the less the impact is in your lower back. So fidge about a wee bit. Now at this point, if you want a bit more of a back bend, you can come into seal pose. So hands come out and a wee bit further apart. Don't lock the arms out, but it gives you just a little bit more of a back bend. Then from here, as we did before, just lowering back down and coming into full locust position. So hands are out the front, feet are pointed. You can have both hands and legs up and holding, just the feet or just the hands. It does depend on your lower back, as long as it's not really, really uncomfortable for you. So tucking those toes again, coming up to downward dog. Hopefully we're feeling a little bit more flexible now than we did half an hour ago. And then we're coming forward to a plank, coming down to chaturanga, inhale to up dog, tuck the toes and come to downward dog again. And just pausing here, feeling the difference in your body from half an hour ago. And then coming down onto your knees. So toes together, knees apart, coming into that wide knee child's pose and pausing here for a few breaths. So starting to just think about coming out of that child's pose. Slowly walking the hands up, taking your time, coming up to your knees. So clasping those hands behind your back again, you're going to come down into rabbit pose. So pop your forehead on the mat first of all. And if you want to, you can then roll up onto the top of your head. See how your neck is, okay? So lift your hips up and obviously bring your hands over whilst you're opening those shoulders. But feel free just to stay in the sort of child's pose variation with the hands clasped behind your back. Gently coming back up again. And what we're going to do now is you're going to have your left knee pointing to the top of your mat and your right foot crossed over, so your foot is going to be flat on the floor. Pop your left elbow onto your right knee and then pop your right hand behind you. So we're in a twist now. Opening up the shoulders and twisting while stretching our thighs and hips as well. So we need to do it to the other side. So left knee's now going to be sort of pointing towards the top of your mat, and you're going to cross your left leg over, foot flat on the floor, hook that right elbow onto your knee, lengthen the spine and twist around. You can look behind you, you can look to the side, as long as you're opening up that chest and getting the twist. Then we're just going to sit with our legs crossed and do some eagle arms. So left arm comes under the right. Bend your elbows, and you can put the back of your hands together, or you can bind again into a full eagle arm twist and lift your elbows up. This is great for opening the shoulders up at the back. And we do the other hand. So the right hand comes underneath this time. Bend the elbows. You might want the back of the hands together, or do the full bind with your palms. Just do as much as you can though. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. Just windscreen wiper those legs a little bit. Just feels quite nice when you're lying on your back here. And then have a full stretch, hands pointed, feet pointed away. Stretch out the full body. Bring your knees into your chest as well. You can rock side to side if that makes you feel nicer. Just getting ready for a relaxation. So let your legs out, kind of to the side of the mat. Feet are nice and relaxed, and the hands, top of the hands are on the floor for your Shavasana position. So you can take your Shavasana for as long as you like. Remember, we'll be here for a few minutes today. So just lying back on the mat and just feel the stillness. Feel the time that your body's taking just to recover. And use this as just a couple of minutes peace and quiet. So just bringing your awareness back into the room and inviting a little bit of movement back into your body. You might want to bend your knees or have a full stretch, it's up to you, but roll onto your side before you come straight up to keep that nice feeling of calmness around you. And just push up with your hands, coming into a sitting position of your choice, legs crossed or on your knees, hands at your heart. And just pause here for a minute with your eyes closed and feel the stillness, feel how your body is feeling now after your practice. Nice and relaxed with your shoulders, and we're going to finish with a namaste. And thank you so much for joining me for this shoulder flow today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel so that you get all the notifications for all the new videos. And we'll see you next time.